hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifested. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion about the Boruto manga. So if you're an anime only fan, this is the time where I am going to be talking about more manga content. So I thank you for your support. But with all that being said, if you're still here, I'm assuming you're okay with me talking about spoilers. So I think now's the time that we really need to have a serious conversation with Kawaki. I think a lot of fans would agree that when we start looking at who the best character in the Boruto manga currently is, a lot of people will come to a conclusion that it's actually Kawaki. Like in the Boruto manga, it's hands down Kawaki. And so it's for that reason that I think that we need to look at who Kawaki is as a character and actually acknowledge the fact that for a large portion of Kawaki's arc, it's centered around the Karma Seal. And when it comes to his absurd power and his abilities, a lot of it was rooted in his Karma Seal. Sure, the guy does have his body enhanced by scientific ninja weapon tech. That's absolutely true. But his Karma Seal made up a nice portion of his power and a nice portion of his abilities. And as of the last chapter, Kawaki is no longer in possession of his Karma Seal. Now that is interesting to me, because now we're in a situation where essentially Kawaki, his whole arc is beginning at zero all over again. But when you look at how the stakes are raising, it really makes me wonder, is Kawaki useless? Because think about it for a second. Kawaki is no longer in a situation where if somebody from Kar begins attacking, he doesn't have karma. So theoretically, they could move to kill him. Now they won't kill him because Isshiki obviously is gonna need to make him his vessel. But the fact is when it comes to a battle situation, once Kawaki gives all the information he has about the Kar members over to Konoha, to where Konoha can start working on their own bingo book, Kawaki's not gonna have any value. He's just a normal citizen at that point. He's a normal citizen who's had his body augmented, but the guy, like the only ninjutsu training the guy has is he's been trained a little bit by Naruto. So essentially he's on that same level as a fresh from the academy Genin. He might even be below that just from the fact that he hasn't been necessarily trained for years like those Genin go through years worth of training in the academy. He's only had tops a few weeks worth of training from Naruto. He's just freakishly strong. But that's with this karma. Now we don't know how strong he is without his Karma Seal. And from a plot perspective, the only thing that's really keeping Kawaki somewhat relevant in the plot is that we know that at some point Isshiki is going to be grabbing Kawaki to put another Karma Seal on him. So that's one thing that now we're looking at it and we're saying, well, how does this happen? And yet at the same time, Kawaki's role, it feels like it's done until he becomes another vessel. And if that's the case, that's why I do think Kawaki is being done a disservice, unless they go the route of us actually seeing Kawaki enjoying life without being enslaved to the Karma Seal. If they go that route, I'm gonna call it good writing. If they don't, if they just have Kawaki mentioned in passing, I'm gonna call that a cop-out. But from a strategic aspect and from a battle aspect, Kawaki doesn't have much to offer. That's what's so troubling right here. I'm not gonna call him useless, but I am gonna say that Kawaki is a liability, because now without the karma to give him that insane boost in power, Kawaki is somebody that needs to be protected. He needs to be protected, okay? Like, you can have all the intel that you want, but if you don't have the power to back it up, intel's not gonna be something that you can take advantage of. Kawaki can no longer use karma to absorb ninjutsu attacks, which means that if something gets hurled off in a space of ninjutsu, Kawaki has no way of protecting himself and others. He has to be the one who's protected. And I think that for a character like Kawaki, again, looking back at the character, I feel like given his personality, that's something that I don't think Kawaki would take too kindly to, because in a way he's very stubborn. In a way he's that type of person to where, you know, he's like, I can do it on my own, I can be independent. And yet at the same time he has to learn this element of teamwork, which is trusting in your teammates to be able to protect you. So I mean, this is going to be interesting for his character. This does set up a good opportunity to have an internal conflict inside of Kawaki and have it manifest with the external conflict of potentially Kar attacking Konoha, or there being a Kar threat and he's having to rely on other other people to keep him safe. But one thing I would say is that when you're in a situation like this to where you're having to protect somebody that can't necessarily protect themselves, you can't let them get too out of your reach, which means that the whole time that you're fighting, the whole time that you're in battle against somebody, essentially you're fighting with a handicap, because you can't use your most powerful jutsu because the person you're protecting cannot defend themselves against it. You can't necessarily cut loose in battle and take advantage of the terrain and everything, because you have to worry about whether or not you're leaving the person that you're protecting, whether or not you're leaving them vulnerable for an attack. You have to constantly monitor their situation, make sure someone isn't trying to attempt to take them from your blind spot. There's so many different variables that are at play here, and that's where it's going to be interesting. That's where it's going to be interesting to see if Kawaki brings something else to the table after he gives that intel over to Konoha about the car members. And even then, because Amado is the one who modified their bodies, Amado is the one who's going to have all the real information. He's going to have all the real information. So Kawaki essentially offers nothing other than being Isshiki Otsutsuki's backup plan. So I want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel? Do you really feel as if Kawaki is essentially useless now? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know which end of the spectrum you fall on. Is Kawaki useless, or is Kawaki's character a character that can be redeemed now? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.